Well, have you ever been doing a painting thinking everything is just hunky-dory, you're just having the best time and you're just painting along, and all of a sudden you realize something is very, very wrong? Well, this is what happened to me. You're looking at my big mistake right now, or at least one of them. I'm going to show you several. Oh, by the way, my name is Yovette if you haven't been here before. And let me tell you what happened. So I was just painting along. Like I say, I was just having the best old time and I was enjoying myself so much. And I was looking at this painting and I thought, wow, that mountain is absolutely gorgeous. My viewers are going to love watching me do this. Well, I'll tell you, I got this funny feeling like I should check my video, so I did. I went and checked it. And oh my God, I was just heartbroken because my video had stopped or my camera had stopped recording. I got exactly 4 seconds of this painting done that was actually recorded, and the rest was not recorded. Anyway, I was so disappointed. So I decided I didn't want to scrape it off and start all over from the beginning. So what I'm going to do is just continue on with this one. And I may do this similar scene again later at another time, so you can see how I did that, because it was really a lot of fun. So what I'm doing now, I'm just taking brown, my different colors of brown and white with my knife, and I just want to make a few little rock areas on the ground. It just adds a little bit of something to the land. And then now just adding just a little bit of highlights to these rocks. Makes them show up a little bit better. So now this is Bob Ross brush. This is actually a wildlife brush. It's a 3/4 inch. This brush is fabulous, not only for doing wildlife, but also for various other things in a painting. And so as you see, I'm going to use this brush to actually finish out these trees, because I did not like the way the other brush was working at all. And it come out kind of blotchy, and I didn't care for it at all. So all I'm doing is loading my various shades of yellow and a little touch of green. And I have just a little tiny bit of liquid white on the brush also. It'll just help the paint come off easier. And as you can see, I'm just varying this color just a slight bit, just adding a little bit of ochre to the color. And what this brush does, I'm actually able to round out these bushes a little bit more and connect them so that they look a lot better. This is a great brush for that. When you're using this brush, you have to be sure and smash it down, push it down, spread those bristles apart. See how I'm pouncing? That's what opens up those bristles and allows you to spread that paint a little bit easier. So as you can see, I'm building up more of little clumps of trees now. The tree actually looks like it's little bushes in the tree. And if you look at trees, that's kind of almost what some of them look like. It's just like a bunch of bushes that are connected. So just use various colors of your yellow, a little bit of ochre, a touch of red if you want, different shades of yellow. Just lightly tapping. I'm not pressing hard at all. This is a very, very light touch. And you can see how it's bringing these clumps together. Be sure and add a little bit of liquid white here and there so it comes off the brush easily. And adding the liquid white to the yellow also lightens the color some, and that makes it a lot prettier. Yes, I do think I'm going to have to do this mountain again for you sometime. So this is an interesting little hack. This is my liner brush, my #2 liner brush. And it's too long for what I want to do next. And that's one thing about the Bob Ross brushes. They only have one size of liner brush. So what I did is I just took off about 50% of it, and then I just took a scissors and rounded those tips just a little tiny bit. Now, as you can see, that was a clip that I had inserted from earlier, but now I'm back to the regular video again. So with this little brush that's about half size now, I guess now I can call it a short liner or maybe a detailed brush or a detailed little round or something. I don't know what you'd call it. Anyway, it's my own little invention. I do that with a lot of my brushes. I'll cut them up to different sizes that I want or different shapes that I want. So it's probably better to try it on cheap brushes before you cut up these expensive brushes, because once you cut these, they're cut. You can't undo it. So anyway, if you watch what I'm doing now, I'm adding yellow in the tree. And the reason for that is because I lost doing these clumps of trees, these clumps of, let's say, bushes in the trees, I lost the yellow. I wanted the sky color to come out a lot more vivid than it did. So just by taking a little bit of yellow and adding it into various places of the tree, when you, up close it doesn't look the same, but at a distance, it'll look just like the sun glowing through the trees. It's like open spots in the trees, places where the little birds can fly through. So just filling in these little spots wherever you would like your sky color to come through. Now your sky color could be blue, it can be yellow, it can be red, doesn't matter what color it is, but in my case it happens to be in the yellowish tone. But I've noticed that, boy, I don't know, this is a little bit too yellow. It stands out a little bit too much, so I'm going to tone it down by adding just a little bit of red. Now that should blend in with, see how much better that is? It actually blends in with my sky color. And now it's really starting to look like that sun is coming from behind the trees. You can see through the trees to the sun. So now, as you can see, my sun would be coming in from the left-hand side, and so I want to highlight the bright side of these trees on the left. And so I'm just taking a little ochre and a little yellow and just highlighting a little bit on the edge of the tree. I just want that to stand, especially against that dark, I want that to stand out a little bit better. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well, I guess it wasn't very important anyway, right? So we want to do both trees. You don't have to use, I'm using this little brush that I cut. You could use a flat brush if you wanted. You don't have to use this little brush. And you could try using your liner brush. I just find that long liner is a little bit too long for a lot of things that I want to do with painting, so I really like my cutoff brush. So a little bit more highlight in here. I think the light would strike a little bit harder here. And I may even, once this is dry, I will probably go back and even highlight just a little bit more. There's maybe a few spots that I want to bring out even better once it's dried. I find that once a painting is dried, I love doing highlights after that because they just stand out so much more, so much easier to see. I also want to just lighten a few little spots, you know, just bring out some lightness here in the grasses, like the light would be shining just on these few little areas here. And it doesn't have to be a light yellow. You could also make it a color if you wanted a different color in there. That would be fine. But you notice I keep dipping into my liquid white to thin this paint out so that it comes off easy. Now I also think that back here on these background trees, some of that light would be hitting on those. And so I want to just lightly hit a few of these trees here and just give them a little bit of highlight. And do take the time to just blend out that yellow just a little bit so it's not just pure dots of yellow. Kind of blend it out into the trees itself. Just loading that brush again. Now I want to go to the other side. And on this side, the tree would be highlighted on the right side of the tree. And it's partially in shade. It wouldn't be highlighted as much as the trees on the right side of the painting because it is in shadow a little bit. However, there is still going to be some light shining on it. And when I'm through with this video and after this painting has dried, I'm going to add maybe a few tree branches and I don't know, just a few little odds and ends, and then I will show you the finished painting at the end of this video and show you what it turned out like. Really love the sky in this one. I just think that turned out so nice. And like I said, maybe I'll do another video using the basics of this painting and do something else, something different for you. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, you notice on the little trees on the right hand side of the painting? Well, to me, it looks like they're kind of going outward to the right. And so I don't want my eye to be going off the painting, I want it coming into the painting. So I decided I'm going to just add this third tree in here just to add a little more interest to the left side of this clump of trees here. That way it looks like it is not so going off the edge of the painting. I think that'll work out well. Another thing I see in this painting that I'll repair after it's dry is the birds. I didn't think they looked quite right, and so I definitely want to repair those. And the way I do that is I color match. Well, here is the finished painting. This was inspired by Bob Ross Season 12 and Episode number 10, and it's called Mountain at Sunset. A beautiful painting. I changed his a little bit to, I don't know, just because I felt like it. Anyway, here is a different video that you may enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.